Every shot and every frame in your favorite films is a carefully crafted piece of visual storytelling, designed to draw you deeper into the story and connect you with the characters on screen. Today we are diving deep into the art of visual storytelling, exploring the power of framing and shot sizes. We're going to break down what each choice means and why directors or cinematographers decided to use them, but most importantly, how you guys can use these techniques to make you better filmmakers and storytellers. First shot that we're going to talk about today is what's called a clean single shot. The clean single frames one character in isolation, typically without any character or object encroaching on the frame. And this shot is ideal for building a character's self-reflection or focusing in on their reaction. If we take a look at the film Marriage Story, clean singles are used very strategically in the film to showcase how characters are reflecting alone, emphasizing their own solitude and individual struggle. A clean single shot pulls us directly into their world without distraction. And if you guys watch this film, you'll notice that these shots are carefully chosen to emulate the feeling of isolation. Our second shot is called a dirty single. This is where our main character, with part of another character or an object, is slightly in the frame. This adds a sense of proximity, which kind of hints towards a relationship to introduce a subtle tension or an object into a scene. In Breaking Bad, dirty singles help illustrate the tension and complex relationship between Walt and Jesse. This type of framing gives us perspective, reminding us that the other character's presence and the influence, even if they're not primarily in focus, is actually impactful. You guys should ask yourselves, are you trying to introduce another character or an object that is part of the storytelling? Or do you need to showcase this character feeling alone or isolated? That will tell you whether you need a clean or a dirty single. Now, if you want to introduce another character into the conversation, but still highlight only one character, an OTS shot is a great way of doing this. These shots are great because it places us just behind one character, looking at the other character, making us feel kind of involved in the conversation, and we're right there as like a fly on the wall. In The Silence of the Lambs, the over-the-shoulder shots draws us into the conversation between Clarice and Hannibal Lecter. It's a perfect example of using framing to kind of increase the intimacy and the dialogue as things start to rise in tension. Now, we talked about some single shots and over the shoulder shot, but then you have something called a two shot. Now, a two shot is just like a one shot, but instead of having one single person, you have two people in the frame. Now, for it to be a two shot, both faces of the characters actually have to be present in the frame. And a two shot is great for showcasing relationships and dynamics between characters. In La La Land, two shots are to show the chemistry between Sebastian and Mia and how their connection is growing throughout the film. And because most films are made up of two people talking, how you decide to approach this as a filmmaker will allow the audience to subliminally catch on to the little nuances of your storytelling decisions. Now, just like the two shot, you could also have a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It doesn't matter the number, as long as you have people present. You basically say that many people and then the shot. However, if you have something like you have here in 1917, this is called a crowd shot. And taking a look at this scene from 1917, these crowd shots are used to convey the chaos and the scope of war, creating a powerful sense of scale and urgency. And these are perfect for scenes that capture the energy of a group or a crowd's reaction. Typically, a crowd shot is shot with a wider framing, and frame sizes are extremely important. And that's what we're going to jump into next. Starting with the first shot size, we're going to start with the establishing shot. An establishing shot is typically an extremely wide shot that is used to set up a scene or introduce a location. This could be an overhead aerial shot or even a ground level wide shot. The idea here is to have an interesting way to establish your location or a scene. If we take a look at the Joker, you can notice how they use these establishing wide shots of Gotham, giving you a feeling of the world that's gritty and imposing, and giving us insight into this world can help us bring you into the mindset of the character and where he's from and what he's going through. And the way you guys should think about establishing shots is a great opportunity to build the world that your story takes place in. Next, we have a wide shot. This shot typically frames a character in their environment, but keeps some distance showing the full body of our character. If we take a look at Mad Max Fury Road, wide shots allow us to feel the vast, desolate desert creating a sense of isolation. Wide shots are fantastic for revealing the relationship between a character and their surroundings. And of course, you guys can mix any of these shots together with the framing that we spoke about previously. You could have a wide single shot, you could have a wide two shot, you could have a wide dirty single shot. So I think that it's just important to really understand the different ways that you guys can approach this, and having this knowledge is going to give you more power in your storytelling. Now, a great way to study the different framing and shot sizes is a website called Film Vibes. Film Vibes is a filmmaking tool that allows you to pull assets from films, music videos, commercials, and TV shows to use in your pitch decks and storyboards. And what makes this tool different than the websites like ShotDeck or FrameSet is the ability to download not only stills, but MP4s and GIFs to showcase camera movement in your pitch decks and storyboards. This is a company that me and my partner started, and I'm extremely proud of it. And honestly, guys, I use it on a daily basis as a filmmaker. So if you guys are interested in this, I'll leave a 20% discount code down below. Okay, next on our list is the medium wide shot, also known as a cowboy shot. And this shot frames your subject from the knees up. And it's used a lot in classic action or Western films because they wanted to show the gun holster at the waist. If we take a look at this shot from Django Unchained, this shot really heightens the tension by focusing on both characters, their body language, and the weaponry, pulling us into the anticipation of the showdown. Now, if we move in a little bit closer, we have something called a medium shot. This shot typically frames up characters from the waist up and is one of the most versatile shot sizes in film. In The Social Network, medium shots are used heavily to focus on conversations and expressions, allowing us to see characters' reactions without feeling too intrusive. And I think this shot is really great for capturing the dynamics in a dialogue scene. Now, moving the camera just a little bit closer, you have something called a medium close-up shot, which frames like the chest or shoulder area up. And this is where you start to get a little bit more intimate with the characters. As a storyteller, I think this is a great way to showcase the meaning or the depth of what a character is saying without being way too overly dramatic. Next is a close-up shot, which usually frames the face. This is one of the most powerful shots because this really draws your attention entirely to the character's emotion. And then of course you have something called an extreme close-up, which is even closer to the camera, which could capture things like eyes, mouth, or hands. Now, a very important storytelling tool is the use of inserts and macros. Insert shots zoom in on an object or a detail highlighting something that's crucial to the scene or a plot. If we take a look at Inception, the spinning top becomes such an iconic insert shot that is really such an extremely important storytelling tool and adds mystery to the ending of Inception. And of course, a great way to showcase inserts is by using macro shots, which are extremely close-ups that reveal intricate details, often too small to be seen from the naked eye. These shots can really turn ordinary objects into extraordinary visuals. Now, I know for a lot of you guys this seems like basic knowledge, but the truth is that thinking about this kind of thing is so important, because if there's one thing that I want you guys to take away from this video is to go out and compose your shots as cinematographers or directors with intention. You know, figure out what the goal is of your script and a particular scene, and try to understand really the motivation behind that scene. As I'm in the process of making this film right now, I am really so focused and dialed in on motivation and intention for each scene, because you can go and create pretty shots all you want, but how is that really helping you tell a story? How does that really, drawing your viewer in and getting them hooked into the story that you're trying to tell? And I think that when you really focus in on asking yourself, what is the intention of this scene? It'll become very clear for you guys what shot size and what framing you want. And again, like I said, I know that this is very simple information, but it's so important to study and really have as a filmmaker, and be able to have it as something in your toolkit, because you guys are definitely going to call upon this knowledge as you are continuously making films. And if you guys want to learn more about filmmaking, me and my team are putting together a complete filmmaking course that breaks down everything from creating an initial concept and script all the way through visual storytelling with cinematography and lighting, and we even go and take a deep dive into the editing process. So if you guys are interested in that, I'll leave a link down below so you guys can check that out, sign up for an email list, and you'll be first to be notified as soon as this course drops. I want to thank you guys so much for stopping in and hanging out. My name is Alex Zarfati. I'll see you guys next week. Deuces.